Welcome everyone to chair yoga. So we'll start off our session today by just turning the attention inward, taking a few moments to relax, listen to our body. So sitting comfortably in your chair, extending those feet out a little bit in front of you and resting your hands in the lap. Go ahead and close the eyes or just drop the gaze. And as you turn the attention inward, just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Especially noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then we'll take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale it all out by blowing or sighing it out. And one more nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck. And the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice, even breathing. Inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue this nice, even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or a phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. And we'll go ahead and begin the warm-up by turning our heads to look out over the right shoulder and back to center, and turning to look out over the left and back to center, dropping the chin to the chest, and then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center and left ear to left shoulder. And back to center. Extending the hands out in front, open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. Good. And then extending those arms out in front, we're going to do what's called arm pretzels. It's actually a little twist for the wrist, so make sure you pay attention to how your wrists feel. We'll start by taking the left forearm and cross it over the right. And then rotate the arm so now your thumbs are pointing down towards the floor and you can clasp your hands. And then bending the elbows out to the side, drop your hands down, bring them in towards your chest as you circle the hands around. Now, if maybe they're a little more flexible, you can even slide them down your chest a little bit, but you're going to pay attention as to how those wrists feel. Only go as far as you can that you feel a nice stretch without any discomfort. Good. And then just continue to breathe. Good. And then bring those hands back down, extend them back out, release, shake them out. And then we're going to try it on the other side. So extend the arms again. This time right goes over the left. Rotate the arms so the palms are facing down, or the thumbs are down, palms together. Clasp the hands. Extend the arms again, circle it around. Good. And then just hold them here. And again, if you want to try to bring them down a little bit, you're going to extend the, it's really a twist with a flexion here. Good. And then go ahead, drop those hands down, release them, shake it out. And then just to kind of loosen up our fingers and things, we're going to pretend we're a piano player. So we're just going to move those fingers back and forth as if you're doing some scales on the piano. Good. And then coming back to center, go ahead and just release those hands to your lap. And we'll do some shrugs. And then the next time you pick the shoulders up, roll them to the back. And then coming back to neutral, we're going to extend the elbows out to the side, bring the fingertips together, and then try not to move your torso, just lift and lower your elbows. Good. And then coming back to center, just release. Extend the arms out in front, palms facing down. And we're going to do a little modified crawl, like you would do swimming. So you're going to drop the right arm down, just bend the elbow and bring that hand back to the beginning. Good. And then the left, bring it back to center and right. Good. So we're not bringing that arm all the way up overhead like you would do in the water, but same movement here, just warming up the shoulder. Good. Let's try it once more each side. Good. And then as you bring those arms down, just wiggle it out, whatever feels good, maybe a couple of shrugs. Good. And placing the hands in the lap, and then extending the right leg as we point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. Bring that right leg back in and then the left. The same thing, point and flex. And circles. And reverse. Good. Bring that left leg back in. And then you're going to pick up the right foot just a little bit. Extend the right leg. Bring your heel down. And then slide that leg back in, or that foot back in. So pick it up, extend, bring it down, slide it in. Good. I got a squeaky chair here. There we go. Good. Let's try it once more. Good. And then same thing on the left. Bring that leg down, slide it as you bend that knee. Good. And one more here. Good. And then we're just going to do a little march. And then our seated jumping jack, or what we call downward facing dog. Good. I need to sit in a different place on my chair, maybe. Good. Let's do two more. Good. All right. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring that right arm alongside the body. If you'd like to hold on to the chair, go ahead and do that. As you inhale, the left arm, and then exhale, bend to the right. Release back to center and switch. Inhale and exhale to the left. Good. Come back to center, and then the left hand will go on the right knee as we come into a twist. So inhale to lengthen, and to exhale, turn and look to the right. Good. Release back to center. Switch hands. So right hand on the left knee, inhale, and then exhale, turn and look to the left. Good. And then releasing back to center, coming into about midway in the chair, we're going to do a spinal warm-up called cat-cow. Now, the cow part is that arching. So you're going to lift the chest, look up. Cat is the rounding. So dropping the chin to the chest and rounding the spine. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, then probably eliminating that rounding is a good idea. So just keep the spine in neutral and just do cow. All right, so with an inhale, You're going to lift the chest and chin, looking up, arching mainly in the mid part of the spine. Good. And then with the exhale, either just keeping the spine in neutral or rounding, dropping the chin to the chest for cat. And then we'll come back into cow. Exhale, neutral or cat. Inhale, back to cow. And exhale, neutral or cat. Good. And then go ahead and come back to neutral. And then you will want to just do this little hip walk up to the edge of the chair. So we're going to come into two postures seated before we come up to standing. So the first one we're going to do is gate pose. So stepping your right knee just a little bit to the side. Your hips are still going to face forward. And then extending the right leg out, and here's where you may want to shift your hips over to the right a little bit, because you want to keep the right knee straight, have your foot facing forward. So your knee and foot are facing to the front. And then your left knee is just a little bit to the side, but those hips are facing forward. All right, so right hand goes on the right leg. With the inhale, you're going to sweep that left arm up, and then exhale, bend to the right. Good, and then we'll just take a couple of breaths here. So this is called gate pose. Good, then from here, we're going to come into side angle. So with the inhale, bring the torso up. Place your left forearm on your left thigh, and then as you exhale, lean a little bit to the left, and then as you inhale, sweep the right arm up. So it's not as deep of a side bend or anything as you just did in gate. Good. Now, we're going to put those two together. So with your inhale, come back to center. Lift that left arm up and exhale, bend to the right. And then inhale, exhale, sweep those arms out around, kind of windmill, back to side angle. Good. And then switch. So inhale and to exhale into gate. Inhale as you come back to center, windmill those arms, and exhale back into side ankle. Good. And then inhale back to center. Let's try that on the other side. So walk that right foot in. So you'll probably want to shift those hips a little bit over to the left side of the chair so you can now extend the left leg out. And again, the right knee is a little bit on the diagonal, but keep the hips facing forward. Left knee and foot are facing forward. Good. Left hand just rests on that left thigh. Inhale to lengthen. Sweep that right arm up. And to exhale, bend to the left. So this is more of the deeper bend here. Good. And continue to breathe. Try to keep the chest open. Good, and then we'll come into side angle. So inhale or exhale back to center, and then place the right forearm on the right thigh. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, and exhale, come into side angle. Good, all right, let's put that together then. Inhale. Windmill those arms as you exhale into gate. And then inhale, I'm going to do this windmill thing with my arms as I exhale into side angle. Good. Inhale. And exhale back into gate. Good. And then inhale. And to exhale back into side angle. Good. And then inhale back to center. Go ahead and shift everything back to the right. Step that left foot back in. Good. And then we'll come up to standing. So coming up to the edge of the chair, and you're going to shift that weight forward into your feet. And come on back. All right. Go ahead and put your chair to the side for right now. And we're going to start by coming into mountain pose. So you'll want to have your feet just about hip width apart. Find the four corners of the feet, the area from the balls of the feet back to the heels. Distribute the weight there. Tighten up the front of the thighs. Lift and tighten the abdominals. Focus on the spine, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Arms are alongside the body, palms facing each other. And then pick those shoulders up, roll them down the back so the chest is lifted. Your chin is still parallel to the floor as you gaze forward. And just come back to that nice, even breathing. And take a few breaths. Good. And then relaxing it a little bit, we're going to come into a nice, easy twist. So I want you to just leave those arms loose as they swing, and you just twist. So you're twisting from the waist. Keep your knees soft. This is called the elephant swing. So it looks like you're just swinging a trunk as you turn. Good. Then come back to center. Place your hands on your hips. Widen your feet a little bit, and we're going to do a circle with our hips. Just circling them around. Good, loosening up that low back. And then reverse. Good, one more. Good. All right. From here, we're going to come into a wide stance. If you would like to have your chair in front of you for support, then go ahead and stand behind the chair. I'm going to just keep it to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we're going to start by widening our stance. And you want to have your feet as wide as you safely can. All right. So we're going to start warming up these hips. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into what's called star pose. So with these feet nice and wide, your feet are facing forward, we're going to lift our arms up to shoulder height. So you can see why it's called star pose. Good. Keep those abs tight. Now, we're going to do an isometric contraction. So what that means is you're going to contract some muscles, but they aren't going to move. It's very important while you do that you continue to breathe, because you want to, as you contract the muscles, hold your breath, but I don't want you to do that. So what you're going to contract are these glutes, and you're going to do that by pressing the outer edges of your feet out towards the ends of your mat. And as you do that, you should feel that up here in those glutes. Good. So continue to press through the pinky toe side of your foot, so that all along the edge of that foot. And to the heel. Good. You feel that? I do. Good. All right. Relax it out. Relax those legs. Now we're going to pull our heels in a little bit so that our toes are pointing out. Hands are going to come right here to these leg creases, right where the leg meets the torso. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen, and then with an exhale, you're going to bend your knees. Keep the chest lifted, so you're just dropping those hips straight down. Good. Now, look at your knees. You don't want your knees coming forward like that. So by turning your toes out, try to line your knees up with your toes. Good. And then continue to breathe. Again, if you want to have your chair in front of you, then you've got your chair for support. Good. All right. Go ahead and come on up with your inhale. Now, we're going to turn the left foot so it's facing forward, and then we're going to take that right foot and continue to turn it so that it's at 90 degrees. And then you're going to line up your right heel with the left instep. Good. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen. With your exhale, bend that right knee. Stack it right over the ankle to make sure it's not going past the toe. And then you'll notice that left hip now is kind of angled to the right. That's okay. From the waist up, you're going to turn and face the front. And then inhale, bring those arms up to shoulder height, pull the shoulders down, and then turn to look out over that middle right finger. So coming into warrior two. Now we're going to put a little movement into this. So when we put some movements rather than just holding the pose is great and what we do most of the time to build muscle strength and endurance. But when we move, it forces you to use a little more of the core. So what we're going to do is with an inhale, we're going to place the left hand on the back of the left thigh. We're going to sweep the right arm up, straighten the right knee, and rock back onto your right heel. Good. Then with the exhale, bring the right foot back down, bend the knee, and we're going to sweep the left hand, the right hand down, left arm up. Good. So let's not go quite as slow here. So inhale, rock back on that heel. Exhale. So this little windmilling of the arms again. Good. And last time here, inhale. If you need to hold on to the chair with that left hand, just hold on to the chair. So pretend there's a chair here. Good. And then inhale back up. Good. And then we'll come into triangle. So this right knee is straight. Inhale. And then as you exhale, shift the weight into the left hip. Bring that right hand down. It might be on your thigh or your shin. If you can, sweep that left arm up. If not, just place it on your hip. Good, and continue to breathe. Try to focus on that left shoulder and chest, keeping it open. Good. And then with the inhale, lift the torso. Exhale, bring the arms down, and we're going to try that on the right. So again, if you need to, have the chair in front of you. All right, so the right foot has turned forward, left foot has turned out at 90 degrees. I've lined up my left heel with the instep of the right foot. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, bend that left knee, and bringing the arms up to shoulder height, turning to look out over that middle left finger, and just taking a couple of breaths. Good. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. Right hand on the right thigh. Inhale, straighten that left knee. Rock back on that left heel. Bring the left arm up. Exhale. Bring the left arm down. Extend that right arm up. Good. Inhale. And exhale. See how much harder it is when you're moving? It really challenges your balance. Good. And exhale. Good. Keep the knee bent. Go ahead and inhale back to warrior two. Good. And then straightening the left knee. Inhale. Exhale. Shift the weight into the right hip and then coming into triangle. So bring that left hand down. Again, it might be on your thigh or the shin, wherever you need to be, that you can keep the right shoulder and chest open. Good. And breathe. Try tightening your left quadricep or the front of the thigh. That'll also protect that knee joint. Good. And then with the inhale, come on back up. Exhale, bring those arms down. Go ahead and turn that left foot in. And then you can do a little heel toe, just till you can step your feet together. Good. Shake those legs out. And then we will come behind the chair now and come into downward facing dog. So doing a nice stretch. So keeping the hands on the chair, walking the feet back so you can extend through the arms and the shoulders. And then bend your knees as you drop your head and chest down towards the floor. Depending on the flexibility in your hamstrings, maybe straightening the legs a little bit. That squeaky part of my floor. Good. And breathe. Good. And then to come out of the pose, keep the knees bent as you begin to walk in towards the chair and lift the torso. All right. Our last standing posture, we're going to do eagle pose. So if you would like to bring the chair so that it's on your left side. And we'll start by taking the right foot and crossing it over the left. So if this makes you a little unsteady, then just keep a hand on the chair. Extending the arms out in front. This time, turn the palms up, and we'll take the left arm. You're going to cross it just above the right elbow, and then bring the hands to your shoulders like you're giving yourself a big hug. Now you can stand here, just gazing forward, or maybe if the shoulders and arms are a little more flexible, then wrapping those lower arms, holding on to your opposite thumb. Again, just gazing forward, coming back to your nice, even breathing. Good, and then with your exhale, slowly unwrap those arms. We'll uncross the legs. Go ahead and come around the other side of your chair, or move your chair, and we'll try it on the other side. All right, this time the left leg is going to cross over the right. Good, so even just balancing here is a nice challenge. All right, bring those arms out in front of you. Again, palms facing up. This time we'll do the opposite. Right crosses over the left. You're welcome to stay here and continue to breathe, or wrapping the lower arms. Good, and then with the exhale, go ahead and release the arms. Go ahead and uncross those legs and just walk it out a little bit, shake those legs. You want to do the same with those arms. Good. All right, and then we will return to a seated position. So sitting in that chair. So we're going to do a little core exercise, and this one is also an isometric. So remember, we did it in star pose with our hips. This one we're going to do, it's more the core, and you'll probably feel it in the quads too. Just remember, as you hold an isometric contraction, to continue to breathe. So what this one is we're going to place our hands on our right thigh. As you're sitting up nice and tall, you're going to resist. So I'm going to try to pick my knee up, and at the same time, I'm going to use my hands to push my leg back down. So you can feel then what that's going to do is tighten these core muscles. So we'll hold it for just a couple of seconds, just about 3 or 4 seconds, and then we'll release it and we'll try it again. Remember to keep breathing, okay? All right, here we go. Ready? So you're resisting. Push with your hands, push up with your leg. Maybe your foot will come up a little bit off the floor. You can keep your toes on the floor. You should be feeling that here. Good. All right, release it. Good, take a couple deep breaths. And we'll try it again. All right, here we go. Ready? Resist picking that knee up. Good, all right, rest it out. You got another side you have to do. All right. Here we go. Ready? Begin. Resist. Keep breathing. Good. Rest it out. So I'm feeling that obviously in my quad because I'm trying to pick it up, but then I'm also feeling it here, actually all the way around in my back and in my abdominals. So. All right, last time. Here we go. Good. And breathe. Good. All right, release. Good. Rest it out. All right, so we're going to come into a little back bend. We're just going to place our hands alongside our hips, holding on to the side of the chair. And with an inhale, you're going to lift the chest and the chin, looking up. So you've got this arching in the mid part of the spine. Good. Opening up through the chest. Good. And continue to breathe. Good. And then release. Bring the head back to neutral. Just pause here for a moment. If that does make you dizzy, just close your eyes. Come back to your normal breathing. And you're probably sitting about midway in the chair. We're going to come into a twist. Now you can come back to crossing the right foot over the left foot or cross on the ankles, or if you're okay crossing on the thighs, we'll go ahead and do that. And then taking the left hand, if you do have the thighs crossed, place it on the left knee, if not on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, turn and look to the right. Good, and then release back to center. Try it on the other side. So you're welcome to just cross here. And so you would have the right hand on the left knee, or if you cross on the thigh, then right hand on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, turn and look to the left. Good. And then go ahead and release and cross the legs. And then walking the hips up to the edge of the chair, we'll come into a hamstring stretch. So keeping the left knee bent, just extending the right leg, having the heel on the floor, toes are pointing up, and then paying attention to the back of the leg. So you want to have a nice stretch, have the leg straight behind the knee. That's where the hamstring crosses. So that's where you know you're getting a nice stretch. If you're feeling a good stretch here, then stay here. If you want to deepen it, you're going to bend from the hip. Keep the back straight and just bring the chest forward a little bit until you feel a nice deep stretch. Again, there shouldn't be any discomfort or pain. You just have to learn where your edge is. So you go to the edge, but not past that. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, and then go ahead and lift the torso and change legs. Good, and then again, bending from the hip, just bringing the chest forward, really a couple of inches at the most, until you feel a nice deep stretch. Good, and then go ahead and inhale, come on up, slide that leg back, and sitting about midway in the chair, we're going to stretch out the glutes. It is an external rotation of the leg, so if you've been told not to sit like this, then just bring the right foot across the left again. But this time, you'll have to scoot up towards the end of the chair and just let that right knee kind of fall out to the side. And you'll feel that. It's just a nice little stretch. Otherwise, then we'll bring the right foot across the left thigh, which is going to be a deeper stretch, a little more intense. So again, see how your body feels. And we'll just take a few moments here to stretch out through that right hip. Try to release any tension or tightness there. Good, and then switch to the other side. So you're either here or here. And you'll notice one hip is just going to be a little tighter than the other. Perfectly normal. Good. And then go ahead and release that left leg, still staying up towards the edge of the chair, so you may want to come up. Then widening your knees, stepping the feet wide, and we're going to do a stretch for the inner thighs. So placing the forearms on those inner thighs, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, think of tipping the torso forward. So just bringing the chest forward. That way you keep the back straight. So I'm not rounding from my waist. I'm just tipping my pelvis forward. At the same time, I'm pressing my forearms into my thighs. So until you feel a stretch there, make sure that you don't go too far. Remember, you're focusing on your edge. Good, and breathe. Good, and then with the inhale, go ahead and lift the torso, walking those feet in, and then doing a little hip walk all the way to the back of the chair as we come back into our pose of relaxation, what we call Savasana. So resting the hands in the lap and closing the eyes. Turning the attention back to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. With your next inhale, let the abdomen rise first. Then the chest. And the collarbones. And with your exhale, slowly lower the collarbones. Then the chest. And then the abdomen. And just practicing a few of these nice deep breaths. And focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. And then focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. And with your next inhale, think the word so. The exhale, think the word hum. Which means I am. Or use any other words or phrase that has meaning to you. Give yourself just a few moments to completely let go. Begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving your fingers and toes. Then the wrists. The ankles. And slowly bend one knee and then the other. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for just another moment, focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.